The Jim Harbaugh effect is real, guys. We're going to talk about it next here on Four Verts. I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into Four Verts, an NFL and college football show here on YouTube. We drop videos every single day, the latest NFL news, my reaction to all top storylines, game reaction as well. Had a Thursday Night Football video up last night. Go check that out. Once we get to 5,000 subscribers on the channel, one of you will win a free NFL jersey, so be sure to lock us in for that. All right, let's talk about the Jim Harbaugh effect, as he's got the Chargers rolling. He's got the Chargers ahead of schedule. They're 7-3 through 10 games on the season, and this has gone from okay, this is a nice story. The Chargers are going to be a tough out in the regular season, to they're pretty close to being a borderline lock to be a playoff team at this point in time. And they'd be a team with how well they're coached and with Justin Herbert at quarterback that I wouldn't want to play in the playoffs. And what the Jim Harbaugh effect is A, how quickly it's happened, and B, how quickly he can put his stamp on a team, how quickly he can get guys to buy in to the way he wants to play. How does Jim Harbaugh's best teams play? They're physical at the line of scrimmage. They want to run the football, play defense, and then when it's time to go be special, have your talented quarterback go be special. And that's basically what's transpired here for the 2024 Chargers. They're physical, and this was signaled in the offseason, the type of team and why this is so obviously going to be a Jim Harbaugh type team, because they had to get under the salary cap, and they had 4 players that they had to make decisions on by either trading or cutting to get under the salary cap number. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, wide receiver Mike Williams, defensive end Khalil Mack, defensive end Joey Bosa. I would say, based on how things went last year, most people would have said cut Bosa or Mack and probably Mike Williams. Bring back Keenan Allen and one of the other pass rushers. What does Jim Harbaugh do? He trades Keenan Allen and he cuts Mike Williams. Why? Because he knows you got to win at the line of scrimmage, and the way he wants to play is by punching you in the mouth at the line of scrimmage. We saw it again in the draft. They could take Malik Neighbors. You just got rid of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Justin Herbert needs a big-time weapon. He views offensive linemen as weapons. That's a phrase he's used before. So who does he draft? Joe Alt. Plugs him at right tackle, and they get Ladd McConkey in the second round. And sure, they'll probably need a big-time receiver at some point in the future, but they're pretty good. They're physical. They're playing the brand of football that they want to play. And it's just, it's so nice to see a coach who knows exactly who he is, doesn't beat around the bush. He says, hey, this is my style. This works. He instantly turned the 49ers around. He instantly turned Stanford around, had them winning BCS games. Took a few years at Michigan, won a national championship. And what are you seeing this year? Well, defense is balling, brings his boy Jesse Minter with him, who could be a head coach soon. And not only is the defense balling, it's the best scoring defense in the NFL at 14.5 points per game allowed. Number one, instantly, best defense in the league, arguably, from a scoring standpoint. Now, would I say it's the best overall defense in the NFL? No, but it's clearly top 5. It's clearly top 5, and that's with some holes on that defense. Like, Mack's a good player, getting older. Bosa, older with injury problems. Derwin James, injury history. Some guys who are just kind of making it work with good coaching and mentality. I think that's the word. It's the mentality that Harbaugh installs into his players and that they buy in to him. At least his good teams do, and we're seeing that play out. Saw it at Michigan, seeing it with the Chargers. Seeing it with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's not putting up MVP numbers. He's not going to throw for 4,500 yards, something he almost did as a rookie and has done a couple of other times. But who cares? They were winning 5, 6, 8 games, whatever. Even the year they made the playoffs, they get up 27-0 or whatever it was on the Jags and blow that game because they were a soft team, a finesse team under Brandon Staley. You know how I know that wouldn't happen with Jim Harbaugh? We saw it the other night. They got up 27-6 on the Bengals. Bengals storm back. Joe Burrow starts balling. What happens? The Chargers score late and win the game. They found a way to close the deal. In my lifetime, the Chargers lose that game. They blow that game. Brandon Staley blows that game. Mike McCoy blows that game. Not Jim Harbaugh. Doesn't mean he'll never lose a big lead and lose a game. I'm just saying the mentality and the edge he brings is so obvious when you watch his teams play. Herbert's 17th in passing, but you know what? He's got 13 touchdowns against just one interception. He's playing exactly like a Jim Harbaugh quarterback plays. Classic Harbaugh quarterback, where he's taking care of the ball. They're running him a little bit more in this Greg Roman offense, which everybody criticized at the time in terms of making that decision if that was going to be a good fit or not. And when the game's on the line, when it's time to be special, hey, go be a big-time playmaker. Go make a play. We saw it with J.J. McCarthy at Michigan last year. McCarthy was mostly a game manager, but in big spots, he would scramble to get a first down. He would make a big throw. It's the same thing with Justin Herbert. I promise you Justin Herbert would rather throw for 3,900 yards and win 11, 12 games than throw for 4,700 yards and win 7 games. Today's show is sponsored by Turtle Beach, the best gaming headsets out there. It can be found at turtlebeach.com/chat. So comfortable. It's like throwing a Christmas sweater on your ears this holiday season, and most importantly, it's going to give you an edge in the gaming world because their Stealth 700 Gen 3 headset picks up so much crystal clear sound. It's basically like you're cheating when you play video games. You'll hear every explosion, every loot box, every footstep like your opponents are right there in your living room. You're going to have a leg up in that regard. Plus, again, they're just so comfortable. And if Aunt Carol's bothering you at the Christmas table this year, asking you about your love life, just throw these headsets on because you're not going to hear her anymore. It's the perfect gift this holiday season. Get 10% off with code CHAT at turtlebeach.com. That's code CHAT at turtlebeach.com. They're better than any other headset I've ever used. They've mic'd me up today and on several recent videos, which is awesome. I like to play sports games as well. You can hear the crowd noises so clearly, the commentators as well. It's just awesome. It's like you're in the stadium for the actual event. So check out Turtle Beach today. turtlebeach.com/chat. Code CHAT gets you 10% off. Check out Turtle Beach. He's adapting. He's accepting it because he wants to win. He gets everybody to buy in. I'm talking about Jim Harbaugh to achieve the same goal, which is winning. Players get remembered for winning, not because they threw for 5,100 yards. You throw for Jameis Winston had a 30 touchdown, 30 interception, 5,000 passing yard season. You know why they lost? Because they threw too many picks and they lost 10 games or whatever it was. No one cares. Justin Herbert, all of a sudden, oh, he's top 5 guy. It's like, he's kind of been that, but now he's got the right coach. And J.K. Dobbins, they want to run the football. Jim Harbaugh saw J.K. Dobbins run all over him at Ohio State and said, hey, I'm going to bring this guy in for cheap, plug him into my offense behind a good offensive line that I've invested into. He's having a resurgence, over 700 yards, averaging almost 5 yards per carry. Iced the game the other night, even though they were in field goal range, gave him another carry. He bounced it and scored from about 30 yards out. He's having a monster season. And that's what they want to do. They want to hit you in the mouth with their offensive line, run the football, and then throw off of it with Justin Herbert. And then on defense, it's, hey, it's going to be a long day for the other offense because we're going to crack skulls for 60 minutes. And that's the mentality they play with, and that's how Jim Harbaugh's teams are. And look, every coach and every good one, they all have their styles. They all implement what they want to do. Does anyone do it as quick as Jim Harbaugh, though? I mean, I think even the most optimistic person would have said this is a fringe playoff team at best. Most people thought they'd win like 7-8 games this year. And then next year, once he gets more players in, once they have more cap flexibility, draft picks, etc., then they could really take off. Guys, they're 7-3. This isn't like, sure, they're building up more. This will be probably the worst roster he has, which should scare people. Jim Harbaugh is going to have this team winning for the next decade. Like, I would bet on him winning a Super Bowl with this quarterback because he's got the quarterback, number one. They're always going to be good on defense, and they're going to be good in the trenches. When you have a good coach, good trenches play, and good defense with a good quarterback, that's the formula. And Jim Harbaugh is exactly that. He's got this team feeling dangerous, man. I mean, you look at the standings right now. In the playoff picture, they probably won't catch the Chiefs in the AFC West, although they have one more game head-to-head. They're 2 games back there. But they're in the 5 seed. They're ahead of Baltimore. The 7th seed is at 6-5. They're at 7-3. So they would have to collapse to miss the playoffs. They've got some tough games coming up. Baltimore this week. If they can win that game and separate from the Ravens even more, that would basically lock them into a playoff spot. At Atlanta, at Kansas City, 2 more tough ones. Tampa at home, Denver at home, at New England, at Vegas. That final stretch of Tampa at home, Denver at home, New England on the road, Vegas on the road, you're probably going to win 3 out of 4 there. So that's 10 wins. Even if you just go 1-2 the next 3 weeks against Baltimore, at Atlanta, at Kansas City, you're an 11-win team, probably the 5 or 6 seed in the AFC. Like, that's a home run, even if they lose in the first round of the playoffs. But guess what? This is going to be a team that no one wants to play in the playoffs. And that is the Jim Harbaugh effect. He can come in right away as long as there's some talent, and in this case, a really special quarterback. He can make it work. He's going to bring in good coaches. They're going to be physical, mentally tough. All of his good teams are. There was a couple down years at Michigan where it was like, maybe this isn't going to work out. Got it turned around pretty quickly. And now, I mean, is he already a top 5 coach in the NFL? You'd be hard to argue against it at this point. So Jim Harbaugh, guy's a beast. That report came out recently. I think Jordan Schultz had it that from a current GM, several teams are regretting not diving in to Jim Harbaugh more last year in the coaching cycle. If you remember, I'll give you 2 examples. The Bears kept Matt Eberflus and did not flirt with Jim Harbaugh. The Raiders kept Antonio Pierce, did not flirt with Jim Harbaugh. I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'd say both those teams regret that decision. Just throwing that out there. So, yeah, it's crazy. He's awesome. And the Chargers are going to be good for a long time. You think about the AFC West. Andy Reid with Patrick Mahomes. Sean Payton, we'll see what Bo Nix becomes. Looks pretty good right now. Justin Herbert with Jim Harbaugh. Good luck to the Raiders. It's going to be hard to even have a coach that's in the ballpark of those other guys and a quarterback as well when it comes to Mahomes and Herbert. All right, there you have it. That's going to do it for today's episode of For Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button for more NFL and college football videos. Have a great football weekend. We will see you guys soon here on For Verts.